Cause you never know what tomorrow brings in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Barber223, and here we are again with another video. Today we are going to be doing a Magic Dragonite PvP build, specifically solo, small group, BG, Cyrodiil, and Imperial City. It works wherever. So yeah, we're just gonna do it. It's a build that I've been playing with recently. I had a Magic DK build video out before, but honestly, I think this build's better, especially for solo play. In a group, maybe the other one's better, but I think this one's really good for solo play. Because it has everything you need to stay alive and do damage at the same time. I'll explain it when we get in. But yeah, before we get started, I just want to say how appreciative I am of you guys. Thank you so much for showing me love on the channel and, you know, liking my videos and all that. Make sure you keep the comments coming because I really enjoy it. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So, let's just get right into it. So, I guess we'll start with the character screen. We are a Dark Elf. So, I think that's the best Dragonite race. I don't think it's even close. Breton's a solid too. Even High Elf, which will be better next patch too. But I think Breton and Dark Elf's being the best in my opinion. Yeah. So here's the character screen. We got 34k magic, 21.5k health before Cyrodiil, 1400 magic recovery, which honestly you might not even need that much. I'll tell you why once we get into it. 1100 health recovery unbuffed, 960 stamina recovery, which is really nice. Spell damage is 2300 unbuffed. Spell and physical resistance, we'll do it buffed. Back bar we have 27 and 24. Front bar we have 24 and 21. So not too bad, right? That's the character screen. You know, this is just before we even get into Cyrodiil, before we're buffed. This is just raw stats, just sitting here. If we even just use our web spell damage buff, we have 2700 spell damage. So yeah. So we'll just get into gear, which, you know, let's just zoom right through it because you guys don't want to sit here forever, and neither do I, right? Yeah, so we'll start with our front bar. We're using Vatestrand's Lightning Staff. This is, I've tested Black Rose Prison. I've tested this. I've tested the Master Staff. I've tested them all pretty much. And this exact staff is probably the best. Main thing is lightning is good for AoE. When you use weakness to elements within 15 meters, you get the tether. It does 3k a second. It does 1% extra every second. It's awesome. It's a great weapon arena. Probably one of the best for DK because you're close quarters and you can trap people. So yeah, really good. Charged. Make sure you have charged. You can use sharpened if you want, but charged is going to be the best here. It's going to give you infinitely more sustain for DK especially. I will tell you why once we get into. Actually, you know what? I'll show you now, because it's probably easier for me to show you now. So I want to let you know that the glyph, I would like you guys to use poison. Don't use flame. I use flame because I had it on another build earlier. But poison is what you want. I will tell you why in just 1 second. But yeah, charged. So make sure you have charged. Here it is. Well, here's why. Ardent Flame. So when you apply burning to an enemy, you restore 500 magic. When you apply poison to an enemy, you restore 500 stamina. No cooldown, just a raw buff. When you apply either status effect, you get 500 of it. Now, when you're using charged, you get 220% extra chance to apply these status effects. So, as a DK, you're doing flame damage all the time. You're going to be applying this burning status effect constantly, literally all the time. So you'll be restoring 500 magic literally all the time. So that's why I was saying your sustain is going to be way better than 1400 recovery because you can just play the game and you will restore magic. It's so nice. So that's why charge is so nice. It was better a couple of patches ago, I think, before the meta change, but it's still really good. It's just a little bit of a crutch for DK in terms of sustain. You got to utilize it. And the reason you need a poison glyph is because every time your glyph procs and shoots off, you're going to get 500 stamina. And the poison status effect is nice too. It does a dot, it's a little bit damage, whatever. But the 500 stamina back is going to be very, very nice for the build. So yeah, I guess you could hypothetically use poisons if you want. It's just the same thing. But I don't like using poisons. I think they're toxic. And not because they're poison. I mean, like, they're literally just so corny. I'm not a fan. So in the back bar, we're using a resto staff of willpower. That's just literally only because it's a single piece. We have nothing else to use here, and it's going to give you extra magic. You also could use the Maelstrom resto staff. I think that would be better. I just didn't feel like doing Maelstrom Arena a million times. The Maelstrom Arena is going to give you 500 magic back every time you crit with rapid regen, so that's going to be a bit better. But I use willpower here. It works also, defending on the trait, just because we're in light armor. I'm sorry, we're not in light armor, we are in heavy, but having extra defending is going to put your resistance up, and extra magic to get your heals better, right? And a weapon damage glyph for better heals as well. So the gear. We're running Balorg as our monster set. Head and shoulder, a light head, and a medium shoulder, and the rest are going to be heavy. So Balorg. I've tested Grothar, I've tested Falcon, I've tested Balorg, I've tested Engine Guardian, I have tested Lambrus, I've tested Zahn, and I think Balorg and Grothar are the two kings. Balorg's probably better because your Dragon Leap is going to destroy people with Balorg. Grothar is a pain in the ass to verse. So really it's preference. I kind of go back and forth with these constantly. Right now I think Balorg's a bit better just because of that. In heavy armor you're going to get a lot of penetration just for using your ultimate, and heavy armor you don't have a lot of pen, so getting more pen with this is going to be nice. Because you get 23 times at the ultimate cost, you get spell damage and penetration. So, end of 12 seconds, that's a pretty damn long buff, if you ask me. So yeah, that's Balorg, that's why I use it. Being able to get your spell damage up, that's going to buff your heals, it's going to buff everything, and get your penetration up, you're going to buff your damage. And the best part is, Balorg will apply to the ultimate as you use it. So if you use Dragon Leap, you will get the penetration and spell damage buff into the Dragon Leap. So it's not just going to be after, it's going to be for it, which is probably even the best part about it. So yeah, on the body, we're using 5 pieces of Eternal Vigor, 5 heavy. It's simple. Eternal Vigor is a beast set. This set was more of the meta last patch, before the procs came in. It doesn't matter, it's still really good. As you guys know, I'm not someone that likes to use procs. I'm sorry, it's just not me. I use Vase Strands because it's great, but it's also not as bad as other ones. So Eternal Vigor. There's really not much to say about it. It's going to give magic recovery, stand recovery, health recovery, and the 5 piece is going to give health, and you're going to get over 300 stamina and magic recovery, above 50% health, and then under 50% health, you're going to get almost 1,000 health recovery. So basically, when you're above 50, you're going to have better sustain. When you're under 50, you're going to be more tanky. It gives you the best of both worlds. And as a heavy armor set, there's really nothing else in the game that is going to give you recovery like that, unless it's craftable. Shackle Breaker is decent. I guess Willow's Path wouldn't be too bad, but Willow's Path doesn't give the extra health. So that's kind of what's better about it, and Willow's Path is kind of a flat bonus rather than it deciding based on what situation you're in. So I like Eternal Vigor being able to help you in different situations. It's very versatile. It's tankiness, damage, sustain, all that in one. So I think that's such a good thing. In terms of traits, though, so I have Divines, Reinforced, Sturdy, and Well Fitted. This is not what you want. What you ideally, in an ideal world, I have to transmute these or buy it, but I would love to have 3 N-Pen and 2 Well Fitted, or even 3 Well Fitted and 2 N-Pen. That being because Well Fitted on a light armor build is going to be very valuable. At least I have one piece Well Fitted. It's whatever. Next update is going to be even more valuable because heavy armor is going to cost extra to roll. So if you can get Well Fitted on a few more pieces, you're going to be golden. So I would go N-Pen and Well Fitted in whatever situation you want, whatever direction you want, 3, 2, 4, 1. It doesn't matter. Make sure you do that though. So Eternal Vigor is going to be great for you, especially on a DK. That was something I wanted to note too, is that as a DK, you can use Eternal Vigor a bit better than other people. And I mean, Eternal Vigor literally works on every build in the game, I think. But the reason I would say Eternal Vigor is probably possibly even better on a DK, because when you, I'll get into the skills and I'll tell you, but when you have that health recovery bonus, you're going to get essentially way more. And there's going to be a reason why. It just really comes from your coagulating blood. So the 976 is going to turn into a hell of a lot more based on the math and the percentages. So yeah, that's going to help you tremendously. So on the jewelry, we're running trainee, 2 trainee, and then Malakath, because Malakath is the GOAT. As you may have seen in my tier list of mythics, Malakath is the GOAT of mythic items. It's the best. It's the greatest. So 2 trainee, you get health and magic. Very beautiful, very nice. The best 2-3 piece set in the game, if you ask me. Yeah, there's a couple other options I can give you here. So if you don't want to run trainee, what you can do is you can run 1 trainee, and then you can use 1 ring of endurance, and then you can go up here and you can use a resto staff of endurance. So on your back bar, you're going to get an extra 600 health recovery. Again, that's going to stack with your 40% from coag, and you'll get a lot more. So that's another option. I tried it. I like the trainee. I just feel more comfortable with trainee and willpower. It's the extra magic, I think, that makes me feel more comfortable. But it's really up to you. You could also do 1 endurance ring and 1 endurance resto staff. It's up to you. But if you can go all infused, I use 2 spell damage and 1 recovery. Hypothetically, you might even be able to go all damage. I don't know. I haven't tested it yet. But infuse is the wave because you get so much out of it. I mean, you're getting 500 and something spell damage just from these 2 alone. That is so nice. And then 260 recovery here. So it's very valuable having infused. If you can't, arcane is fine. I don't know how much of a difference it even makes, but I think I just feel better when it's infused. So yeah. Now we're going to get into the skills. So on your front bar, Elemental Drain. This is going to proc your Vate Strands. So it's really a damage skill. Not only does it apply Breach, which is 6k resistances to them, you will also get Vate Strand proc, so it's a bunch of damage, and you're going to get Mind Your Magic Seal, which basically, if you, I'll sum it up, you get 168 magic recovery, whoever you're fighting. So that's what I was saying earlier, with the 1400 recovery, it's going to be way more, because you're going to get the 500 from doing burning, and then you're also going to get 168 every second from having this up. So it really stacks, and you're going to have a lot more recovery than you realize. Yeah. It's a must for the Vate Strand. So yeah. So here is a bit of a flex spot. I'm using Deep Breath. It's really up to you. I don't know. I've just been testing it. I mean, Deep Breath is cool. Like, sometimes it hits hard. Sometimes I feel like it hits like trash. I don't know. It's a bit iffy. I like the heal you get. You get 100% heal for the damages you cause around you on the initial. It interrupts. It'll stun them, and it'll exhale fire after 2.5 seconds. So, I mean, like, it's cool. I like using it because I think it's a pretty interesting skill. Like, it's cool to be able to do that. But what you would do here, if you don't want to use Deep Breath, honestly, you don't have to. Honestly, I might even change it myself. But you can use Engulfing Flames here. It's a hard-hitting dot. It's an AoE dot. It's over 14 seconds. And the best part about it is the bottom here, you get extra flame damage based on your offensive stats, maximum 10%. Your current value is 8% for me. So you're going to get almost Major Berserk on your skills such as Dragon Leap, Flame Lash, and Burning Embers, and the flame version of Vate Strands when it procs. So if you use Engulfing Flames, you're almost going to get Major Berserk. So, I mean, Major Berserk is beautiful. It might be better than Deep Breath. It's really a preference thing. And a third option, if you don't want to use either of those, if you find those aren't working, you can use Burning Talons. I'll just buy it. Burning Talons. It's another decent dot. It's about over like 12k, over 4 seconds. But the best part about this, I would say, not only does it apply a nice CC, you can kind of control people, slow them, and help your team out a lot, especially with the Ignite synergy if they can hit it. But it will proc this for Flame Lash. So Flame Lash is going to give you a crazy heal. When you use Burning Talons and hit somebody immobilized, you're going to get like 5k heal. You're literally going to restore 12k health over 2 seconds, which goes up when your spell damage is up. So that's Burning Talons can kind of do damage, immobilize, and get you a heal out of it if you use it correctly. So that's why I like Burning Talons too. But again, I'm just testing out Deep Breath. Preference. It's whatever you guys want. So Fossilize, the best CC in the game, in my opinion. It's a must. It stuns people, it immobilizes people, it procs Flame Lash, so it's incredible. You can't stun, you can't block or dodge it, so must have. Burning Embers, again, just another hard hitting dot. It's a single target dot, but the best part about it is that an initial hit will apply burning status effect, so every single time you use this, you're essentially getting 500 off because you apply burning and you get the 500 back from the passive. So 2900 is the cost, but in reality it's 2400 because you will essentially get 500 off every time you use it. Unless somebody's playing as a Dark Elf for now, but next update, Dark Elves will not be immune to burning, so don't worry. Yeah, it's incredible, and it heals you for 75% of the damage you do, so if you hit someone, wait like 6 seconds, you're going to hit them again, it's going to get you a nice heal. I've seen up to like myself hitting me for like 4 or 5k, so yeah. So Flame Lash, you're spammable. It hits hard. When you hit an enemy that is stunned or immobilized, you set them off balance, so that's beautiful too. And when you target an off balance enemy, so if you immobilize or stun them, hit them off balance, bang, you can proc this. It's going to hit harder, so it does 8500 instead of 7100, and it heals for 12k over 2 seconds. It's going to be more when you're buffed, I think. So now it does 86, and then it does 91, and then you're going to heal for 13,000. And 400 over 2 seconds. That's just, whew, that's a beefy heal. In PvP, it's going to be half that. So it's going to be like 6k over 2 seconds. So think about it. If you're getting a 3k heal every second while Flame Lash goes, and it can happen every 3 seconds, so you can almost have an 100% uptime with this. If you use it correctly, it's a really good thing. If you can just keep spamming, even if you have Burning Talons, Flame Lash. You think in your head 3 seconds, Burning Talons, Flame Lash. Really nice combo. It's really the essence of DK, staying in the fight. That's for that reason I don't use Molten Whip. Molten Whip's okay, but I think it takes too much work to line it up. So Flame Lash is simple. It's good. It's tanky. It does damage. It gives you so many things. So I like that. Ferocious Leap. As you can see, we got a beefy tooltip on our Ferocious Leap. 16k. It stuns him and knocks him back. It has 22 meter range. It has an 8 meter radius. It's so good. Nothing else can top this here. Meteor's not nearly as good in my opinion. And when you leap, you get a 50% health shield in PvP. Because this gives you your max health. So after leaping, you gave it 22, whatever. It's pretty much your max health. So in PvP, it's going to be half that. But getting a 50% health shield for 6 seconds when you use your ultimate, I mean, that's beautiful. And on top of Balrog, you're going to be tanky, and then be able to nuke people with this, and then stay alive afterwards. So yeah, great skill. On your back bar, Volatile Armor, it's going to give you your major spell resistance, your major physical resistance. It's going to do a little bit of damage, and when people hit you while it's going, you're going to return a little bit of damage back to them. It's cool. It's better than Hardened Armor. Hardened Armor sucks. It gives a damage shield, but it's based on your max health, so it's kind of stupid. And who cares about a damage shield that's going to heal you or give you a shield every 20 seconds? Because if you're not, you should be using this skill only every 20 seconds anyways. So no one really wants a damage shield every 20 seconds. Why not just have extra damage? A lot more extra damage, you know? Because it's doing 10k over 10 seconds, and it's going to do 1300 every time you get hit with a direct damage attack. So I think that's a lot better. Cauterize, again, this is something I've been testing. You could use Healing Ward here. That's okay, but I think Cauterize is better. The main reason being is 15 seconds, so you don't have to spam it. You can spam it, though, to get a nice heal, because it's 5k with your buff. Yeah, 5100. And then on top of that, you're getting Major Prophecy. Now, on the back bar, this is fine, because although you have Malekith and you can't crit doing damage, you can crit for heals. So getting extra spell crit is going to be really nice here, because you can crit on heals. So it's just going to help you tremendously. It's going to be a passive heal. It heals your teammates, so it's a really good team buff. Yeah, I think it's better than Healing Ward because it's so cheap. 2100 is nothing, so I like that. Cauterize it's underrated. People hate it. I love it. I think it's really good. So Molten Ornaments, again, another flex spot. You could use Degeneration. You could use the other morph of Molten Ornaments. Honestly, I just like having heavy attack damage. It's really a preference. the kind of thing about it is you give it to your teammates. So that's nice, and it's a long buff. So as a team, if you're in a group play or a duo, you can essentially give your teammate brutality and sorcery, and they don't have to put it on their bar. So it's really just being a good teammate. And then you get 50% heavy attack damage. So it's solid. It's expensive, but it's 36 seconds, and it lasts longer than Degeneration, and you don't have to hit anybody to actually use it. You can just like use it on your own. So I like that too. Because sometimes Degeneration acts a bit stupid when you have to hit somebody. I just don't like that skill. I don't know. So I've just been using this. But you can use Degeneration if you want here. Coag. So this is the one I was talking about earlier. This is going to be your burst heal. It's going to heal you for 8,200 unbuffed. Let's see when it's buffed. 8,800, almost 9k when it's buffed. And you can do extra 33% when you're lower health. So this can almost be like like 11k when you're low health. So 11k, and that's not a crit. So 17k almost when you're low health. That's beautiful. And on top of that, you get the 40% health recovery. That's what I was talking about earlier. Major Fortitude, they buffed it. But they're good. I think it's getting buffed or staying the way it is. Whatever. Yeah, I think it got buffed. I think it used to be 20%, but now it's 40. So basically, what I was saying is, so right now with the 40% buff up, right, on your back bar, you get 1,500 health recovery. Now that's before you even get your Eternal Vigor proc. You're going to get 1,000 extra, so it's going to be 2,500-ish, but you're going to get the 40% on top of 2,500. So the 40% for 1,500 is less. So let's say, I'm trying to explain this in math terms, right? So we lost our buff, right? We're at 1,100. So when we use it first now, it's going to be 400 extra. So because 40% of 1,100 is about 400. But when you get your proc on Eternal Vigor, it's going to be about 2k base. So when you use it there, 40% of that is much higher. So you could be upwards of 3k health recovery. And if you use Endurance, you could be at upwards of freaking, I don't know, 4k health recovery, maybe more. That's 2k healing a second. So that's why I say Endurance is a decent shout. Could be good. I'll show you really quick. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'll show you really quick. So right now we're chilling at 1900. We use our buff now. We're at 2500. So yeah, I don't know. These guys won't get me at low health. It's not going to happen. So at 2500, that's before Eternal Vigor if you use Endurance. So I mean, you're sitting at crazy stats before even Eternal Vigor is up. That's really nice. You're going to be at 4k almost. So yeah, if you want to use Endurance, you can. I personally I like using Trainee. So yeah, that's going to be that skill. And lastly, we have Rapid Regen. Essentially the Vigor for Magic. It's not as good as Vigor, I don't think, just because you have to use a Resto Stab. I'd much rather use One-Handed Shield and have Vigor still, or Rapid Regen still somehow, but it's not possible. So it's just a must. It's such a good heal. Like, it's just so nice. Like, there's nothing else that can replace it, really. It's just so good. I mean, like 18k over 5 seconds. Come on. So that's just a must. Life Giver, I'm using this. It's preference. I like the rest of Walt just because it can help your team. It can keep you essentially invincible for 5 seconds. So yeah, you could use Magma Armor. That's a good team buff, but it's expensive. You could use Dragonite Standard, also very expensive, which is why, for that reason, I kind of think I use this. If you go Vamp, which I don't think it's needed at all, but you could use Blood Scion. This is an option. I use Life Giver. So, honestly, I am pretty much done. So 2700. I'm gonna show you. I guess I'll show you the fully buff spell damage. So we'll do this. We'll do that. We'll do that. So we're at 3300 spell damage. So yeah, we do get above 3k spell damage, which is very, very nice. So, I mean, you get 3k spell damage, you get almost 4k health recovery. Like, it's insane. Really good. being able to be tanky and do damage at the same time. That's why I like Eternal Vigor, and it gives you sustain. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching the video. I was gonna go over CP, but honestly, like, I'm only 452 because I'm a stupid noob. I transferred to PC lately, like recently, so I don't want to like go over CP when I don't even have any, and the updates coming. Like, I just don't want to do it. But if you want, I can go over it in a different video. I don't really go over CP that often. I think it's up to personal preference anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. We're also missing our passive here, so don't worry. I will get it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I really appreciate the love. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.